running late, guys.
Did you sprint here?
Oh my god. Only 4 minutes late. In Italian terms, it's been perfectly on time. Yeah. How are you?
It's alright.
So someone actually managed to be late than I was.
First 5 minutes.
Shaming him.
There's actually some benefits of running the steel spoke wheels. I think they corner better.
Do they?
Or I've just watched too much news show. Where they're saying they form a little bit into the corner and I feel more stable with them. Whereas the carbon spokes, they don't give, they don't bend, there's no tolerance. So in the corners, it feels like they don't deform to help me take a line. Instead, like, they kind of work against me. It might be a placebo. Just trying to explain why my cornering's been suffering, especially abroad on long descents. That's the hypothesis I'm testing now.
Okay. And we are off. Yeah, today we are heading again to Kent. I guess everyone is getting a bit tired of Surrey. 4 of us today. As you can see, I'm only in half Siroko because we are wearing the new jersey of the Intergalactic Club. Yes, thanks to Ed's mind, we went big. Global Cycling Club, not enough. International Cycling Club, not enough. We have to go wider and yes, reach the universe. Nice pagoda, yes. Guys, today I'm in a bit of a rant mode once again because I saw a video, one of the many, I have to say, from Bike Radar this time, about why you don't have to copy the pros. And guys, I can't stand them. I really don't understand this logic from the mainstream media. 364 days of the year they publish features about all the pros bikes, the latest trends in technology, and for that one day left they just say, okay, forget about all this, not copy them. So I'll try to put everything in perspective and understand what you can and you do have to copy from the pros and what maybe is better to leave behind, well, at least for me. I always hated this mentality. It looks to me it looks to me that in every avenue, every category, there's always someone coming from an expert point of view that says, well, leave it to us, you don't have to copy the pros, you stick to your beginner stuff. Maybe they do it with a good mindset, but I really hated it. And it's always been the same for me. Whatever new hobby I started, I faced this mentality. So when it was the time for photography, people with Canon and Leica and Nikon on the necks, what did they say? For you, no, just start with a cheap camera, stick to the Russian reflex. It might be the correct advice if you can't really exploit the full potential. Still feels to me like some sort of yeah, it's good for them, it's not good for you. And once more, when I used to play tennis in Italy, especially, all the clubs were full of, had prestige. The racket at that time, all the clay specialists used to play with. And again, the advice for you was to stick to a beginner's racket, and I'm not so sure. There's a reason why the pros equipment is designed in that way, for you to reach certain results. And if you want to get there, guess what? Sometimes you need to stick with the same stuff that the pros use. So, well, I ended up playing with the Wilson Pro stuff, Sun Plus One. But yeah, I don't know, maybe I wasn't good enough. But at least when I used to hit a nice shot, it came out really nice. So coming back to cycling, when I see these videos, they say do not copy the pros. They feel to me that the reasoning behind them is a bit misleading. Maybe in a different videos they all go about the pro setup, kind of wants to emulate them. First of all, big misconception, maybe the worst one, is that the pros ride with a higher saddle than normal. This is completely wrong. They do ride the correct saddle for the height. The action is efficient, otherwise they will not be able to push the power down. If you look on the side, the angle of the foot, this idea that somehow the more pro you are, the higher the saddle has to be, is completely wrong. But what you see is actually a lot of exposed tube. Yes, because they do ride bikes that are maybe 1 or 2 sizes smaller, and the reason being not just to have a lighter and a stiffer bike in proportion, but to be more centered on the bottom bracket and have a forward position that ultimately is the one that puts them in the better way to produce the power. Like a sprinter on the blocks, you are forward on the bike, so you can push down and backwards on the pedals, not forward and backwards. This is because bike geometry has been stuck for many years in the old days, where tubes were a little bit slacker, different way of riding, where bikes were upright, then they got adjusted to race, but the geometry never changed. Now having a smaller frame helps you put on the top of the bottom bracket. Vamos. So you want to be comfortable, get on an endurance bike, you'll be more upright and shorter stem, because of course naturally you will be sitting a lot more straight up. You want to go faster, go forward, then naturally you will need a longer stem to be comfortable. So there's no a position that is wrong all the way. It really depends on what you need to do and what your setup is.
I would agree. Yeah, aero is the best day.
Do you copy the pros or not?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If I copied the pros, then I feel like I'd be in pain all the time for my bike positioning.
But you do have a quite aggressive stance, and you are quite fast
my
anyway.
bike fitter, I would say.
Well, I guess Ed is right. Of course, you need to avoid extreme situations, especially if you downsize the frame, then the front stack is going to be lower. So yes, you might need some spacer to balance it out. But for example, I'm on my Canyon iRod in large. The size is great for me, and I'm very comfortable even with the low stem at the front. So Cram, do you copy the pros or take inspiration for your bike setup?
Neither, really.
Ready?
I don't. Yeah, no, I don't. I don't copy the pros.
Maybe not.
Bianca?
I do.
See, some do. I think some are not afraid to admit. And also in terms of gearing, the same advice not to follow the pros involves going back to a compact chainring 50-34 and have relatively lower gears on your bike setup. Again, I differ. Before I used to have a 52-36, 11-30 at the back. I like to grind, so I really love to push a hard gear. So to me, going to a 54-40 with 11-34 at the back gives me the same width when climbing. 40 and 34 is very similar to 36 and 30, and at the same time I love pushing the 54-11 when it's flat. So yes, follow the pros if you want. You could enjoy depending on your characteristics.
Look at with that kid, would you?
Well, I guess not, but it's like when you say avocado
Yeah,
toast,
this is
I
proper
thought
stuff.
the egg was just a given, right? Like you just get.
Bianca didn't get
out of
her egg
I think
in
it was
the
an add-on,
sandwich.
and it said add-ons.
You apparently.
I actually genuinely think that was
Avocado toast, I thought there was an egg on it.
the case. Wait, why? Toast doesn't mean an egg.
So this time we are going souring and sweet both. So yes, proper fueling today.
I don't know if it's proper fueling, but.
No,
Got a cheeseburger.
it's not
You do
cheeseburger.
have a cheeseburger.
Yeah, sausage and egg. You don't copy the pros, and yet you have the best bikes, white socks, white shoes, arrow helmet, all the kits, and narrow bars as well.
38.
See, shorter cranks.
165.
Ah, see, we do copy the pros a little bit, don't we?
Never. We are the pros.
As usual, straight after the cafe, back into a big climb. A couple of things that everyone is copying from the pros now are shorter cranks and narrow bars, which I guess it's a good step up if you feel that your position requires shorter cranks. In this instance, I'm not copying the pros. With these bars with 12 centimeters you have to have a 41 width, but I'm quite happy with that. I don't really need really narrow bars, and for my body won't be really necessary. Yeah, I mean, not the greatest pass. Where I don't actually copy the pros, and this is very personal, is of course on the brakes, hookless and tubeless. So I'm sticking to my tubes, hooked rims and rim brake. Some other are disagreeing. Yes, my position is quite unique, so I'm in a very minority here, apart from maybe some OnlyFans stars from Australia. But yes, I do believe that pros were forced in a strange way to ride the new tech because the amateurs, the consumer, wanted it. These brakes were firstly wanted by the normal riders because yes, they are more comfortable and better in the wet, better with carbon wheels, and they were almost imposed to the wider racing community. Races happen because you and I would then buy the bikes. It is yes, a huge market, and everything stems from the pros. In essence, they do ride the bikes we want to buy and not the other way around. So also, I didn't follow Bike Radar mention about don't copy the pros with carbon wheels and then don't go too deep. Everyone is riding, both pros and amateurs, carbon wheels around 45 to 50 mil. You can definitely copy the pros. Yeah, 45 to 50, maybe 55 if it's on the flat, is all you need. We are coming back to London after such an enjoyable ride in Kent. It's funny how relaxed and strongly I felt in this ride, because after last Saturday 190k ride where I pushed myself outside of my comfort zone, I can say that yeah, today I was stronger, maybe even just for a mental point of view, because I know that this ride around 120, 130 is something that I can definitely manage, and yes, maybe this attitude changed my power release during the ride, and everything worked really well. Well guys, in all honesty, this do not copy the pros stance could be, to me, limiting in some instances. If you do have the possibility, why don't you try, within reason, some setup that could be beneficial for you? And yes, if it means copying the pros, why not? I mean, they are the fastest guys on earth. Who would you copy instead? I mean, the guys strolling around in the park with a bike? I mean, that doesn't make sense. So if you want performance, yeah, that's the good starting point. Thanks for the ride. Smashing as usual.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. I don't have Bianca to say bye to, but yeah.
Lucky.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Always.
Ciao.
Ciao. I also need to report that I've done my last 2 rides, so this one and the 190k one, with the Shimano shoes RC7, and I have to say that the stiffer shoes, yes, they do feel a bit better. The rigid platform on the long ride, yes, it does seem to have a better result on your legs and less fatigue. Might be a bit more expensive, but that's another thing that you should copy from the pros. Today was actually a very nice chicken schnitzel. Fuck's sake. Chicken schnitzel. Anyway, that one from Dynamo, and it was really good. And I can't leave you without praising this amazing bike. Guys, this Canyon High Road Green Brake, I think it was the best bike they ever built. Is such an amazing balance between lightweight, aero. It is an absolute weapon. Unbelievably fast on the flat, and it can also climb really well. The bike with these wind space wheels feels so alive, with carbon spokes. As soon as you put the power down, the bike propels you forward, keeps the speed in an unbelievable way. I can't be happier than the wheels, which are also taking a lot of abuse on these roads. I mean, full of potholes, but so far nothing happened. The wheels ran through, the bike is still in one piece, and everything is working in a perfect way. And I can still pretend this setup was good enough for a pro or maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Guys, thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.